Untamed, a spec barely used after the launch of End of Dragons. Now, fast forward a year, and the spec seems to be used a lot more. Not as much as Soul Beast, but the spec is in a different class. But the reason I chose Untamed for open world is because of the survivability and the amount of boons it has compared to Soul Beast. And let's not forget you can smash things with a hammer. Let's look at the gear and stats. The armor is full berserker with runes of the scholar. You can use runes of the thief if your budget is limited. For weapons, I am using a hammer with sigil of force and concentration. The reason I chose concentration is because you'll get a lot of boons and having them for a bit longer helps a bit. For the secondary set, I am using double axes with sigil of force and sigil of impact. And finally, the trinkets are a combination of dragon and berserker. I chose dragon for the extra vitality needed in some situations. But if they are too expensive or hard to find, you can go with berserker all the way. Let's move on to the build. I went with marksmanship, skirmishing and untamed. And as you can see in the build I am focusing on DPS instead of defense, as untamed can have 25% damage reduction when the pet is unleashed, and when using forest fortification you get another 50% damage reduction. And while the cooldown is quite big at 90 seconds, when you hit enemies it lowers the cooldown and it will be used a lot more often. The utility skills are Perilous Gift for healing, Frost Trap for CC and DPS, Exploding Spores for DPS and CC if all of them hit, Signet of the Hunt as the normal running speed is atrocious, but I would recommend switching this when fighting bosses to something else like Protect Me or Search and Rescue. The pets that I use are Rock Gazelle and Jacaranda, depending on the situation. If you want more DPS and range, go with Jacaranda. If you want more CC, go with Rock Gazelle. And that is pretty much it for the build. Let me show you the damage you can expect with the boons generated by yourself and all conditions applied, as usually that is the case in open world. Also, I'm using hardened sharpening stones and plates of steak and asparagus since they're cheap but help quite a bit. This is always the best case scenario since you do not have to dodge or avoid mechanics. Let me switch to an actual meta event so you can get a better idea of how good the spec is. And look at why it's good to do meta events. Drakar's Horde just dropped, which has selectable stats, ascended weapons, and the skins are awesome. Speaking about awesome skins, let's take a quick look at the fashion for this character. I'm using Ancient Kantan Helm, Guild Watchman Shoulder Guards, Blossoming Mist Shard Chest, Ancient Kantan Gloves, Decade Saga Pants, and Warlord's Boots. The weapons are 2 Frost Fangs and Etherbound Hammer. I hope this will help you out if you had troubles in open world or story content. If you want to see more content like this, please let me know in the comment section below, and if you enjoyed the video, please click the like and subscribe buttons.